Well, to talk more about the ground invasion, let's bring in Jaroslaw Strozyk in Wrocław. He's the former Polish military intelligence director. Always good to speak to you on the News Hour. So as we've been talking about, Israel says its tanks and infantry struck numerous cells, infrastructure and anti-tank missile launch posts in northern Gaza. But how much of a difference does this make for Hamas, which of course controls Gaza and is very familiar with the territories, especially in northern Gaza?
Still, Israeli armed forces are clearing some sites or providing some reconnaissance to some areas to prepare the full ground operation. That's a simple still preparation of the battlefield for the main forces to come, which is, it seems, inevitable in coming days. So clearing some sites, some anti-tank positions for the main troops to come to Palestine, to Gaza Strip.
Jaroslaw, when Netanyahu talks about full preparation before launching a complete ground incursion, what factors would he be taking into consideration when it comes to those preparations?
It still comes with political background and political preparations in the Middle East. Still, some U.S. anti-aircraft rocket systems are coming to the area, just avoiding any escalation from some other countries in the region, or to protect its troops in the region, but also still preparation of the Israeli troops. The urban warfare is the most difficult craft of armed forces, so it seems that they need more time. But mainly, I believe this is a political decision to come from Israeli and some endorsement, perhaps, from United States and some other nations.
Well, when it comes to the ground operation threats, of course, they are fighting Hamas. Israel says it wants to completely wipe out Hamas. But then, as we were hearing from our correspondent, Mustafa Fatih, there's also Hezbollah, who operates from Lebanon there on the northern front of Israel. They could possibly get more involved if there is a full ground invasion. This then difficult for Israel to be fighting on two fronts and possibly operating two ground operations?
I don't find it difficult. Israeli armed forces, after full mobilization, are ready to fight those two directions. Gaza operation, it's also requires some military effort, but to the north, they are fully prepared to defend against not a normal armed forces, but still some insurgencies with some good resources as well. But Israeli armed forces, defense forces, are fully capable of providing some equipment and military troops to the south and to the north of Israel.
Of course, with any sort of onslaught, as we're seeing right now happening with those airstrikes in Gaza, there will be civilian casualties. There are civilian casualties. When it comes to the hostages that Hamas is holding, Israel says there are over 200. How do you even start to try and mitigate the loss of civilian life, especially when it comes to hostages who many are believed to be Israeli or even foreign nationals?
Very unfortunately, on both sides, civilian casualties are inevitable, and it still was the case in the past days. So there will be more casualties, and as far as hostages are concerned, it will be very difficult to free them, and perhaps this is the decision of Israel and some other countries, that the only way is to go into Gaza Strip and try to free as many hostages as they could. But as I said, I am very pessimistic about the fate of hostages.
Really dire situation there, Jaroslaw Strozyk. Thank you for breaking that down for us.
Thank you so much.